district magistrates of Imphal West, Imphal East, we're talking about Thoubal, Kakching and Bishnupur districts. 5 districts in the valley hilly state of Manipur. They have issued prohibitory orders today. Earlier, the Manipur government had ordered the suspension of internet and mobile data services in 5 districts for the next 5 days beginning today. And the decision was taken in view of the violent protests and clashes between the protesters and the security forces in Imphal on Saturday evening. Some of those visuals of the aftermath of what happened on Saturday evening on your screens. These are visuals from today, from Imphal, but they again tell you the aftermath of what that clash must have looked like between the protesters and the security officials. The renewed unrest, it started over reports of the arrest of leaders from the Meitei organization Arambai Tenggol. Citizens have been requested to cooperate with the orders, which include restrictions on gatherings. The assembly of 4 or more persons has been restricted in Imphal West, Imphal East, Thoubal and Kakching districts. The orders have been issued in view of the prevailing law and order situation. A total curfew, meanwhile, has been imposed in Bishnupur district, effective from 11 p.m. last night until further orders and clarifications. The curfew relaxation order previously issued has been cancelled now due to the deteriorating law and order situation. The arrest of Meitei outfit Arambai Tenggol's leader seems to be the center point, the bone of contention due to which these fresh protests erupted. Manipur on edge yet again. Joining me here on the broadcast, B.L. Vora, former Home Secretary and former DGP Manipur. A very warm welcome to you, sir. And P.K. Mishra, former ADG BSF. Mishra, sir, let me quickly get the snowball rolling here. We earlier learnt about the president's rule. Political leaders from both sides are trying to stake claim to form a fresh government. Congress leaders meeting with their, party high command. The BJP leaders forming a huddle, making their way to meet the governor as well. But yet again, these visuals, tires being burnt, the aftermath of what prevailed last evening. Mishra, sir, how are you looking at these developments and what's the next step here? Because reconciliation has again, as a word, is, getting vanished from the lexicon of Manipuri lives.
Yes, Kabir, I can well tell you, Imphal is very tense. What has happened yesterday after Arambai Tenggol leader, that the operational commander, not the chief of Arambai Tenggol, that is Konak Nangpa, but I am telling you about the operational chief of army of Arambai Tenggol, Kanon Singh, was apprehended by security forces along with 4 more members of Arambai Tenggol, and then situation went out of control in Imphal West, Imphal East, Bishnupur, Kakching, and also Thoubal. So now, Bishnupur is completely under curfew, and all these places they are having even communication has also been stopped in these areas for 5 days. But I can well tell you what went wrong after apprehension of Kanan Singh, that all these mighty groups, they came up to the road, and there was a clash with security forces at Kakching, that is 4 kilometers from Imphal airport, where 3 or 4 personnel were injured, and when 2 police vehicles they came, they were surrounded, and that is how it happened. And I can well tell you at Lamlang Bazaar also, when a security vehicle was going, that is towards Ukhrul. When you go Lamlang Bazaar, the one security bus was totally burnt by these mighty groups. But things are very tense, and not only here, even in Moray also things are very tense. Unipok also it is tense. Moray is different issue. But what has happened in these 5 districts, it is because of apprehension of Kanan Singh, the chief of army of Arambai Tenggol. The situation is very tense, and let us see how things will come up now, because I spoke to Imphal today morning, and I could visualize the situation. In fact, nobody can come out because communication is also not there. None of the buses are running, but things are pretty bad. Most of the mighty groups, they have gone against it, and they are now blocking the roads, tires being burned, and situation is out of control in these 5 districts for which curfew has been imposed. And it is all started for Kanan Singh's apprehension with 4 more members of Arambai Tenggol because of the complaint which was lodged against him by the Cookie group. So they are asking, mighty group, they are asking even the Cookie group leader also, particularly those who are militants, they're helping the militants having weapons, and also they have to be apprehended also if they have apprehended Kanan Singh. So things are pretty bad, both in Imphal East, Imphal West, Kakching, Thoubal, Bishnupur, and also in Tignopal and More. I'm adding you, it is also in Tignopal and More because of apprehension of two, three militants of Ken group. And that is how things are very
All
pretty
right,
bad
all
in
right.
More also.
So this
Yeah.
might be spreading. So from the 5 districts
Yes,
that
this
we
will
just
spread.
pointed out, Imphal West, East, you've got Kakching, you've got Thoubal, you've got
Gotcha.
Bishnupur, a complete curfew in Bishnupur.
Yeah.
B.L. Vora, former Home Secretary and former DGP, Manipur. DGP Vora, help the viewers understand. We're also learning of demonstrators gathering outside the Imphal airport gate at Tulihal following unconfirmed reports that the arrested leader, Kanan, Singh, that, P.K. Mishra was talking about, was to be flown out of the state. Protesters blocked the airport road. Some of those visuals from outside the airport premises have also been shown. Even some of them slept on it overnight just to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now, how are you decoding these developments and what next? I already mentioned that political, parties, hectic parlays on that particular front because we need a government in Manipur as well. It's still under president's rule and fresh, protests. Manipur again on edge, sir.
Mr. Kabir, this is a two-pronged failure.
Yep.
On the one hand, we have been treating the violence, the taking of law into their own hands with kid gloves all through. This has been a great failure on the part of the state and central governments. In hoping against hope that people will understand, they don't understand at all. So I think this is the result of all handling all the situation with kid gloves softly. I think that should not be there. Number two, the second failure has been not talking to people. Politically, no decisions has been taken. For example, Chief Minister Biren Singh was allowed to continue for a long time. Politically, we create policies, not talking to people, we create policies. So people have been emboldened by now. The whole thing started with cookies and the drug issue. And now where we have reached. Problem, unfortunately, is that unfortunately, Central has no time for Manipur, or for that matter, for the Northeast. And it is nothing new. It has been happening for decades and decades since independence. I tell you, in 73, when I was first posted that area, I am seeing from those times that they have no time except giving money to them. Of late, a little attention is being paid, but it is not good enough. So I think we are paying the price for our own failures on two counts, as I said, handling situations with kid gloves, and second, neglecting that area, not taking political decisions, not talking to people properly. And that is why situation is worsening, and it will continue to worsen if care is not taken on these two fronts. Kabir.
DGP Vora, my follow-up to you, because you're somebody who's seen Manipur right from the inside as well. So has, ADG Mishra. But my follow-up to you, what do these latest protests essentially tell us about the centre's control per se, or lack thereof, over the valley region? What I'm essentially trying to understand is that how does one decode these arrests that have now happened? Is this, domination? Is this poor political foresight? Because one should have anticipated what the arrest of Kanan Singh would have meant on the ground in terms of realities on the streets.
I think it's the same thing. You are reinforcing, Kabir, what I said. One is too little, too late. These actions should have been taken long ago. And secondly, protests, they knew that protests will take place. Why handle with kid gloves? They should have handled with force. See, unless you handle with force the situations, things are not going to improve, I tell you. That is my experience. I worked in insurgency areas in Manipur, in Tripura, in Kashmir. I worked in Punjab, everywhere. So I think that we are paying the price. And as I said, that if they don't mend their ways, it will worsen. Now here, NIA is involved in arrest, as you know it. You have mentioned details. Mr. Mishra, my friend, has mentioned the details. NIA. So NIA will not arrest anybody without evidence. So if the arrest is there, it's a genuine arrest, right arrest, and they have a recourse to the court of law to go and seek his release. And flowing out of Imphal also, the prisoners or the people who are arrested. It was done in those days also when I was first posted in 1980, and we got them back at that time. This shows also weak administration. On the one hand, you're not sure that you can keep these people secure in your own jails and lockups. What a shame. And second, you can't somebody send outside. The will of the government is so weak that people can block the roads and they'll have their field day. And yesterday also, they tried to snatch away this guy from the police vans and all, as you know it. But what kind of a handling the situation is, if you ask me, honestly, it reflects very poorly both on the central government and the state government,
All
Kabir.
right. All right. You know what, ADG Mishra? Let me ask you the same question again. What do you think is the end game with the state's arrests? Is it disarmament or domination? And can something like that even happen, in a fractured, in a wounded Manipur, for the lack of better words? And given your particular experience in the region, the president's rule, the structure of it all, do you think the president's rule is equipped? Does it have the wherewithal to deal with an emotionally charged Manipur, the aftermath of which on the screens for the viewers to consume as well?
Kabir, yes, I was just listening to Mr. Bora. He's absolutely correct. You see, this is a state where we are having 80,000 forces. It's very strange. I'm telling you, forget about More and Tignopal, what has happened. I'm coming down to Imphal. Okay, NIA, we have charge sheet against Kanan Singh, and Kanan Singh was apprehended with another 4 persons. Okay, but we knew that he's from Arambai Tenggol, and he's the chief commander of operational group, chief of army of Arambai Tenggol. That means whole mighty group will come to the road, and then you are taking Kanan Singh when having 80,000 forces in 2 gypsies, 2 police vehicles to airport to take him away from Imphal. And they were surrounded at Kwakaithel, just 4 kilometers short of airport, by all the mighty groups, and they were firing, and of course, a few people, they were injured. I'm telling you, this should not have been happened. This should not have happened. If you are taking Kanan Singh, you know there are charges against him. Then you are having sufficient force. You could have dominated that road from governor's house up to airport. That 5 or 6 kilometers is nothing to dominate. And you have left it that, okay, we can carry it with 2 gypsies. And just see at Lamlang Bazaar, I am not mentioning whose, but it was a security bus which was totally burnt. They should have definitely taken into account the repercussion what will happen after Kanan Singh has been apprehended, and other 4 persons, they were apprehended, and also to take them away from the state. There was nothing new in taking them out from the state. They are being taken to Guwahati, they are being taken to Delhi, that's for interrogation and all. That's a different issue. But you should have taken proper precaution. And even if it has happened yesterday night also, you see, the whole mighty, again, another issue, the whole mighty group, they are now protesting. Another issue has started in Imphal. And that shows that during President's rule, we are having so many forces, we are failing in our security duties to dominate and to cover our areas. And that also Imphal East, Imphal West, Kakching, and these are Bishnupur and these areas where we are having sufficient forces. What has gone wrong with our security apparatus and the deployment of forces, and to think, just to plan how to take action once you apprehend a leader.
No, pertinent points, ADG Mishra, that you're constantly raising.
Definitely.
We also have DGP Vora wanted to make a point. DGP, please exercise brevity. I'm completely running out of time here, but we'll give you the final say here. Over to you.
Kabir, in 1980, when I was first appointed as a DIG to Manipur, Imphal situation was exactly the same as it is today. There were curfews. There were firings by the insurgents in the streets of Imphal. But we took on them. We went into the streets.
Yeah, very good.
We established contact with them and dominated the area with all the political backing of the then Chief Minister, Mr. Kakching, and things became all right over a period of time.
Yeah.
And now you mentioned about president rule. President rule by itself, the word is not enough. It should have all the better advisors. It should have all the powers. It should have all the resources. It should have all the forces at its command. And it can be done. There's no big deal. There is institutionalized memory is not there. We all want to, invent the wheel always, Situation can be controlled provided there is will.